Saddle up, grab a stool. Learning about real estate is cool. With Daniel and Guy.
So that's a thing now.
That's the new theme song.
I like it. I think it's honestly I think it's pretty good.
Thank you. All right, so interest rates. We wanted to talk about interest rates today. And, you know, you're probably seeing a ton of stuff in your inbox or just commercials on the radio or TV saying interest rates historically low, refinance, buy a house. We wanted to talk a little bit about how low, give you some context around the way that looks in terms of how much money you would save, but also we wanted to talk about the effect that those low interest rates are having on the market. A misconception out there is that there's no houses to buy because people are buying less houses. The reality is that sales are up about 10% year over year, and they have been consistently.
Yeah.
It's just that homes aren't staying on the market.
No.
So historically, you'd have some, the bottom 20% of homes would just sit on the market for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we got in 2015, all the time stuff had been listed for a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
And now, even the roughest houses are eventually selling, maybe for less than the seller wanted, but they are selling because more and more people have moved to Chattanooga and because interest rates are so low.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I was giving a client an example of that the other day, and I pulled up in Red Bank I think I just pulled up Red Bank as an example. There was only one active home on the market, and I was trying to show him that inventory, under 250.
Yeah.
It was under 250.
Yeah.
There was only one active home. But I said,
insane.
look, it's not so much that inventory is low. I said, watch this. And I hit contingent and pending. There was like 15
Yep.
that were under contract.
Yeah. So it's like they're just getting snapped up.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk interest rates because I suspect interest rates is, if not the number one factor behind this hot seller's market, right up there.
Yeah.
And we sent this out to our like in our marketing email, to our email list. Get this. In January 2019, the average mortgage rate was 4.475. I'm sorry, 4.45. 4.45 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 years ago, January 2019, 4.45. Today, January 2021, 2.77. That's according to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, and this is on a 30-year mortgage. So, a loan amount of $250 in 2019, the principal and interest payments would be lower than a loan amount of $300 today.
Would they be higher?
Sorry, yeah, $250 would be more expensive 2 years ago than $300 would be today.
By $31 is what we calculated.
Yeah, and that's just principal and interest. Maybe PMI gets in there and makes it close, but still, that's $50,000 more of purchasing power just because of interest rates.
Yeah, and so when you see, and it's good, it's positive. I'm not trying to be negative when I say this, but it's, when everyone's like, oh my gosh, why are prices skyrocketing? This among many reasons, this is one reason why. So, it's good, but it's also like, it's just another factor why home prices aren't going down, along with demand.
Yeah, but let me throw something out. So let's say that the market in X zip code in Chattanooga has moved 20%.
Okay.
And let's use our 250 to 300 example. So if you bought a house for 250 in 2019, and now it's worth 20% more than that, now it's exactly at 300. So even though prices have gone up, let's say 20% in the past 2 years, the payment amounts have hardly gone up, if at all, because interest rates have fallen.
Yeah.
What will be interesting is when interest rates go back up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I imagine that would not be an ideal time to sell, especially if you stretched to get to that 350 or 450 price point.
No.
Because interest rates are low, you were able to stretch.
Yeah.
And now interest rates go back up to 4.5, and it's going to be a little tougher.
Yeah, and it'll affect, consequently. consequently. I'm trying to be smart.
Yeah.
But it's going to affect the housing prices.
Yeah.
I wonder, you know, and maybe you'll have an opinion on this. I wonder, because there's so many factors that go into, you know, what a house is worth, but I wonder if you can put a number
Yeah.
and see what interest rates
On
do
how
to it.
what percentage of interest rates
Yeah,
cause housing price increase?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but to me, it's the number one factor. I mean, well, probably the number one factor is demand caused by people moving to Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Then you've got a lack of supply in the sub 300 price points because builders cannot afford to build houses under 300 grand because of the price of building materials and the price of land.
Yeah.
So we're getting no more supply under 300, but we are getting a bunch of people moving here who need a place to live under 300. It's interesting, and I think all small and mid-sized cities are going to be seeing more of that as working from home and keeping that higher salary from Atlanta or Nashville, but living here is an option. So, anything else we want to say about interest rates?
I think that's good.
We covered everything we talked about.
Yeah.
So. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.